Today we're going to rebuild the Black Cats of Sunderland. 2-time FA Cup winner, 6-time winner of the First Division, but the last time in the 1930s.
A long time ago.
Okay, we're back. Dad, thanks for joining me. We'll discuss it straight away.
Yeah.
Sorry for no rebuild last week. As you can tell, my voice is almost gone. It has been gone. It was gone. It's actually just coming back. I was very bad on that Sunday, wasn't I?
Yeah.
I had to actually get Dad to come round to put Max to sleep because I couldn't even stand. Thankfully, we are back and hopefully I'm on the mend. Great first day of being a full-time content creator. But yeah, we've got Sunderland today, Dad.
Yeah.
This is probably our most requested video ever in
it is,
the rebuild.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what the fans think of watching this one. Like target before we get going?
I'm going to go for 1300. Going to be looking number again.
1300 sounds good.
Yeah, that's roughly with the figure we're around. So.
Yeah. What would you consider a successful rebuild with Sunderland? Because of course they're in League One to begin with, so we've got 2 promotions before we even get to the Premier League.
I'm saying in 5 years, it's got to be just to get ourselves into the Premier League and then mid-table.
Yeah. So starting off, season number 1, we haven't done the simulated season to begin with. The reason why, we've already got the updated database, and because we're in League One, I don't really know anything about the transfers in these types of leagues because I've never really do them. So the transfers are going to be just as much of a mystery to me as what they would be if I did simulate, so I've just gone straight into it. So transfer wise, let's look at the history and what I have brought in to start off this transfer window in season number 1. First off, Josh Sims, a guy that I am actually quite aware of. I believe he came from Southampton to begin with. Free transfer, and I think he's really good for this standard of league. We have Erdin Demir, a player I've never really heard of at all, but a good left back nonetheless. I think that's one of the weaknesses Sunderland have to begin with.
Right, okay.
Harvey White from Tottenham, centre midfielder. Another bit of a plug of a hole, a good squad player to bring in. And finally, a bit of pace at centre back in Mengi. Very fast, not as good mentally or technically, but the 18-year-old from Manchester United, I think that's going to do us quite a good job, especially in League One. Of course, with Plymouth Argyle.
That's
We'll
right.
have to face Plymouth Argyle at some point, so we're going to check that and see how that gets
The
on.
mighty Green Army be there.
Exactly. First game of League One as well is against Plymouth Argyle.
Well, that's why I wore the shirt.
So there we go. So that will be coming up straight away. So the tactic we're looking at to begin with is my trusted 4-2-2, but slightly changing. I've slightly changed one of the roles in the midfield, and I've made them so it's both attacking forwards, advanced forwards, and I basically dumbed it down for this league because, I mean, it's all well and good playing ball playing defenders. Are they going to be that good at ball playing in this league? We'll soon find out anyway. So, season number 1, I mean, League One, prediction wise, the preview, they have us quite high. Actually, it's lower than what I thought. 8.
Yeah, I must admit that's low. Sunderland are usually the favourites in this league.
Yeah, I thought it was like second.
Yeah.
If you go to club info, it does say media prediction second. So
Yeah.
I don't know why that's some kind of glitch. Okay, season number 1.
Here
Let's
we go.
see how we do. And so, the league table puts us
In the playoffs.
in 4th place. And if you take a look at the playoffs,
We won the playoffs.
we won the playoffs. A 4-1 victory against Wickham, of all teams. Obviously, they've just come down from the Championship, so that's a good victory for us. But let's take a look at the score, though, because it went to it didn't go to extra time. We just scored
Late.
3 goals in 90 minutes. After the 90 minutes had happened, and they scored late too. 87th minute, kind of crushed our dreams out Wembley.
Yeah.
I bet the fans are a bit gutted by that.
Oh.
But then Harvey White
We
scores.
didn't leave anything.
Exactly, yeah. Harvey White scores with a penalty in the 90th minute to put us 2-1 up. Ross Stewart scores in the 94th minute, and then Diaku scored in the 96th minute to secure the win. In a game which we pretty much dominated, 22 shots.
And if anybody
11
knows
on
the
target.
history of Sunderland, they like the playoffs.
Yes, and I'm sure we'll talk about that at certain points
Yeah.
throughout this episode. So yeah, a fantastic win there. Let's take a look at the semi-finals then, because Plymouth Argyle was the team we faced in the playoffs. So that's very bittersweet for us.
Yeah.
We beat them 4-1 on aggregate across the 2 legs.
I was at that game.
Yeah, well, I think we both would have been.
Yeah.
We both would have been like, yay.
I've been to both games at Wembley so far. That Argo's been there, so
Yeah, they both lost.
no, we won 1-0 once.
So, Wycombe won on penalties against Wigan. We beat Plymouth 4-1. How else did we do against them? Because the first league game of the season we won 3-1, and then in the other leg we lost 2-1. So that was kind of like a decider there, really. But yeah, good result to start off with. Who's getting us the goals though? Because even though we played a lot of games, Nathan Broadhead was our top scorer with only 17 goals. That's not a lot at all, and he's on loan as well. Harvey White, the midfielder, scored 14, and he's probably the penalty taker after what we just seen there in the playoffs. So we're not getting a lot of goals, to be honest. Maybe we're not conceding a lot.
No, that's right,
which is a good thing, but we're not getting a lot of goals. Even the top assist was Alex Pritchard, who's a fantastic player for this level, by the way. He's getting a lot of assists, only 14 and 7 goals, and he played the most amount of games in 63 games alongside Harvey White and Mengi as well. So 63 games only to get 14 assists, and he is our highest assister. We're not really performing that well.
No.
So we're going to have to up things in the championship.
We're promoted though, that's the main thing.
Exactly.
First season, we're up. That's making it a little bit easier for us.
Yeah, so that's year one, done and dusted, and it's like, right, okay.
Championship's not an easy league, no, that's one of the hardest leagues in the world, I reckon, to get out of.
Yeah, I really do agree. One of the most competitive leagues, and you can never really tell who's going to win that league at the start of the season. It's one of those like ones where it's anybody. By Christmas, it can change. So, season number 2 then. We've got a bit of a job to do.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Let's take a look. So I don't know about you, Dad, but I actually miss watching the 3 o'clock kickoffs.
Yeah,
the Premier League.
Yeah.
And you can actually do that if you have NordVPN. And I've partnered up with NordVPN. I have an affiliate link so you can watch, for instance, American Netflix, which is far better than the UK one. You can watch the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and also you get a lot more protection on your network. So if you want to use my VPN link, you get a massive discount on it. Link down below in the description, or you can use coupon code OmegaLuke at checkout, and I benefit from that as well using the affiliate link. So thank you very much for everybody who's already actually used it. So thank you. So season number 2, we had a bit of an overhaul to do, and I think we've done quite well in the transfer window. So we've got a few loan deals coming in because I think that's quite important in the championship. And one of the signings that we got, I couldn't quite believe we managed to get Albert Sambi Lokonga, the Arsenal lad who's actually been playing for Arsenal, and a really good player on this game. Dropped down into the championship, so I'm quite happy with that. Another player from Arsenal, Nuno Tavares, another summer transfer that they've made. Not the best technically, but he comes in, and I think for this league, his physicals are really going to carry him. And we also have Somerville, who I see make his Leeds debut not so long ago and be a fantastic player. Somebody who they picked up from Feyenoord in Holland. So a talented young Dutch player with a lot to have on those wings, which definitely we need. Other signings though. Now Tim Sparv is a man I really like, because he's a bit of a veteran, 34 years old. It's really unlike me to sign a player like this.
Yeah.
But I remember him from when he was at Midtjylland, and that's where he moved recently to HGK in the Finnish league. But he was really good in like Europa leagues and stuff like that, and I've always watched him throughout Football Manager be quite a decent player. Julian Da Costa though, we've gone down from Coventry. We grabbed him from Coventry. A good right back, a position that I think we needed a little bit of bolster. Maybe to a bit of a squad player as well. So Julian Da Costa comes in. And then the big money was spent, £3.1 million on a striker.
Big money.
Aldin Turks, a Bosnian, 25 years old. Now, it's very hard to sign players who will either get a work permit or is just English, for instance, who will improve the team, who wants to come to Sunderland with the money that we had.
Yeah.
This was one of the only options that I had up front, which would increase and improve our team. So Aldin Turks, he's a bit of a target man. He's 6'4", doesn't have the best pace, but he's got great jumping reach. He's good off the ball as well. Bit of a Zlatan, I think, but a Bosnian version of Zlatan. Good finishing, fast touch, that kind of stuff. Plays with his back to goal. So I like him, to be honest. We are going to try and play him, though, in a bit of a different role to what he's used to as an advanced forward. Now, we're going into the championship. I can't really play the two up top because I think we might struggle a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've bolstered the midfield with Tim Sparr, someone who plays anchorman really well.
That's going to be the most important position, I think, in this season.
Exactly, yeah. Just kind of like just being the defence for the defence.
Yeah.
A block, if you will. So we're going to change the tactic ever so slightly. We've moved to this kind of style, 4-3-3. Sims on the left-hand side. I want him playing every single game. He did quite well for us last year. 6 goals, 3 assists, a decent average rating. I want him playing every single game, coming in on that left-hand side, on his right foot, which is his stronger foot. And Turks up top. We don't really have a lot of options up front. So we're going to play him as much as we possibly can. We spent the big money on him. He's already injured at the start of the season, which is great, for 7 days, 2 weeks. So he will miss the first few games as it is. But hopefully we can get the best out of him and he can score some goals in the championship and at least keep us in here so we can try and get promoted in the next couple of seasons. Now, before we take a look at how we did in that second season, Dad, I want your history. I want to know a little bit about your memories from Sunderland, because I know we spoke a little bit before. We've seen a lot of Sunderland in the years, haven't we?
Yeah. I mean, just touching on the start of this, Sunderland, the Black Cats, obviously, they were founded in 1879 by a school teacher called James Allen, and most of the players were school teachers.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it started it off. And that in 1990, they lost one of the playoffs 1-0 to Swindon. They lost this final, but were still promoted. As Sunderland had a lot of money problems at the time, and they got done.
Swindon did?
Yeah, then they got done for it. And even though they'd done the parade the day after and all that down through Swindon and all that, they won. Then they got promoted to the top league. They got taken away from them. And so Sunderland were automatically promoted then as well, even though they lost. In 1999, I can remember this happening. They won the first division title.
Yeah.
Which was then a record of 105 points. They've done it by 18 points more than Bradford, so they won that league very convincingly that year. So they got promoted to the Premier League, well, the first division.
No, it would have been
the Premier League, yeah. And the following season, they had a hell of a season.
Right.
They finished 7th, and Kevin Phillips, he scored 30 league goals, and he actually won the European Golden Boot.
I remember that happening.
Yeah, and he is the only English player to win the European Golden Boot.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Not even Harry Kane?
No.
I suppose they've had Messi and Ronaldo to
That's
come
right,
up against, isn't it?
Harry Kane's won the Golden Boot for the England, for the
but not across Europe.
But not a Europe one.
I'm still surprised.
Kevin Phillips is the only one. Ian Rush has won it. Ian Rush has won it, but he's Welsh.
Yeah. I'm really surprised Alan Shearer never won it.
No. Ali McCoy's has won it.
Really?
I'm pretty sure I've seen somewhere Ali McCoy's has won it.
Would that have been for Sunderland? Or
no, it's for Rangers.
For Rangers,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but so it's a bit of a record for Sunderland there.
Yeah, that is a massive total as well in the Championship.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I've got a few good memories. FA Cup final, 1973. It's probably one of the first FA Cup finals I can really remember. And I can remember it, and I'll tell you why this particular time I remember it. But the actual game was against Leeds, and Sunderland won 1-0.
Okay. The Leeds were really good back then as well, weren't they?
Don Revley's at Leeds.
Yeah.
I forgot to say as well.
Yeah.
But Sunderland were in the league below.
Oh.
They were in Division 1. No,
that doesn't happen very often.
Division 2?
Yeah,
so Leeds were in Division 1?
Yeah,
it would have been, yeah. Ian Porterfield scored the winning goal. But one of the things I do remember, and they show it quite often when they show the FA Cup, was probably one of the best saves ever in an FA Cup final.
Okay.
Ball got crossed over from the Leeds, and one of the Leeds players headed it down. The keepers dived full length and pushed it up, and Lorimer's come running in and absolutely hit this shot. The keeper's got back up again, dived across the other side, and he saved it again, and hit the crossbar and came back out again. And
was it like a wall in front of the goal?
Yeah, it was just, it was like, he went one way, then back the other way. And then no one could. Well, even the commentator said, Lorimer scored the winning, the equaliser and all that. Oh no, he hasn't, type thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, what a game that was. But the one thing I could remember about this FA Cup final, back in them days, everybody used to wear the tracksuits and all that.
Yeah.
So all the Sunderland staff were all in their red tracksuits. And at the end of the game, when the final whistle went, the camera went to the dugout, and it showed the manager running onto the pitch, and he had his red tracksuit on, but he had a brown long Mac on, and a hat with red tracksuit bottoms. It just struck me so funny. You see it, you think, what on earth's that guy wearing? Type thing. It was just so funny, but what a result that was. For them to win the FA Cup against Don Revley's Leeds.
Yeah.
The main game that whenever I think about Sunderland, I think about this game, playoff final. Mm-hmm. And it was the best playoff final I've ever watched.
Okay.
Now, I would say to any of you viewers, if you want to watch a good game, a good playoff final, go back on YouTube and watch this game, but watch it in full. It is a hell of a game. The game finished 3 each at full time.
Right.
4 each at full extra time. And then it went to penalties.
Yeah.
The goal scorers, at the end of full time, really, Clive Mendonca scored 3 goals for Charlton.
Okay.
Clive Mendonca was born in Sunderland. Oh. He is an out Sunderland fan.
He's a Mac of himself.
And I can remember seeing an interview a couple of weeks after the game, and they was talking to the Charlton players, and one of the players he roomed with, and he said, I just didn't think he was right for the day. He said, because when we got up in the morning, all he was interested was getting tickets for his family, because he knew they were coming down from Sunderland to watch the game. And he had to get, and that's all he was interested about. He wasn't interested about the game until we actually got to the stadium.
He ends up scoring a hat-trick.
And he ends up scoring an hat-trick. What a day for this guy. But Charlton went on and won the final. They won it on penalties. They won it 7-6.
Cool. Penalty shootout.
Person who missed, you might have heard of him, Michael Gray.
Yeah, left-footed.
He was the first left-footed person to take a penalty.
Really?
Yeah. And the Charlton manager said, when they were watching the penalty, he said, "Oh God, who's taking this one?" And his assistant turned around and said to him, "Don't watch this one." He said, "He's going to miss it." He says, "Why is that?" He said, "He's left-footed. He'll miss this one." And he stepped up and he missed it.
Bloody hell.
So, I mean, unfortunate for Gray.
Yeah.
But Sunderland at that time were a really good side.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the season after.
The season after, so we're just going to go into then the season after is when they won the league.
For the most points.
For the most points.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some good memories with Sunderland. Playoff final was brilliant. But Sunderland, they're such a funny side because they're there. Well, they're there.
Yeah,
up and down, up and down. And when we touch on players and managers, I've just got to touch on something that it will just show that they're like that or like that, like that, like that. There's some good memories watching Sunderland.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the stuff that we watch on like the Netflix series and stuff.
Oh, that was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
And I must admit, talking to a lot of the Argyle fans that I know as well, whenever they've been in the league, Sunderland's league, or in the same league, should I say, they've always wanted to go to the Sunderland game.
Yeah, I think Sunderland away was our first game of the season this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a massive away turnout for
Yeah,
us.
it was, yeah.
So
we just love going up to there.
Yeah, even though it is
stadium.
the longest journey in history, they will still go. But that's the Argyle fans for you. So, season number 2, the playoff final, is going to be played between Brentford and Derby County. Did we get anywhere close? No. We finished down in 16th place.
I think that's the worst we've ever done.
But that's after a promotion.
Yeah.
And remember how much of a build we had to have with this team and how bad, to be honest, even though we got promoted last year, the team actually performed. So yeah, we finished on 55 points. 54 was the one below, but look how low. 47 was relegation zone. So we were comfortable. We were comfortable in that mid to low table there. A few big teams around us as well. Watford, Sheffield Wednesday, for instance, Birmingham, Huddersfield, all below us. QPR, for instance. So I think that's a good second season to just find our legs in this league.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So it's all going to be about the next season, what we can do to build upon that, whether we have the money to, whether we can start actually building the squad good enough to take us to that Premier League.
We need a striker.
We do need a big time striker. Speaking of which, goals. Alden Turks did score more than the previous striker did. 24 goals in 54 games. That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad. Only 3 assists though. 13 assists from Alex Pritchard. He again is the most assister, but again he's the only one in double figures. So performance-wise, we only had one player. In fact, we didn't have any player because Will Grigg is out on loan. Alex Pritchard has our highest average rating of a 6.98. It's not that good.
No.
So we're going to have to build again for the third season. Let's take a look at some of our transfers. Now, with a starting budget of around about £6 million, we had a little bit to do, but not a lot, I would say. So, bringing in, we had a few really good signings, I think. One of them, I'm going to go to straight away, Danny Loader as a free transfer. This guy used to be from Reading to begin with. He went to Porto, played actually in La Liga NOS, and scored 4 goals. So he's good, he just doesn't have the mental ability to be at a top level, but for this level, I think he's very much capable, and those physicals are absolutely fantastic. So Danny Loader, I think, is a great signing for us.
Yeah.
We brought in Hannibal Medjbury, a player who I'm excited to see in real life, his career.
Nice hairstyle.
Great hair. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. He's a massive mushroom. He is not going to get wet in the rain.
I'm going to get him to cut his hair because he'll lose 2 stone in weight.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic player to bring into this league as well. From Manchester United on loan. We got Tom McIntyre, another player who plays at centre-back from Crystal Palace, who's in our league. But I think this is one of the best centre-backs that they have, and yet they wanted to loan him out. Definitely a Premier League calibre centre-back if you really needed one. He's Scottish, 6'1" as well, so very talented young player. We also have Toby Sibbock, 350k we've brought in as a man who can play in a number of different positions, to be honest. 23 as well, quite cheap, I think. Yeah. Doesn't have the best technicals, but still, physicals, mentals, they're there. Jack Stevens, a goalkeeper. We really needed a goalkeeper, to be honest. He's not the best goalkeeper. I've really struggled with a good goalkeeper. I've had a couple that has almost got across the line and then somebody else has pinched them. Jack Stevens will have to deal, unfortunately, from Oxford. Shader, because we always have to sign a Brazilian.
Yeah,
number 7 as well. Given number 7, I don't even think he's going to play much this season because I think we got better options. But still, he's Brazilian. I could get him. He got a work permit. Number 7 shirt. He's got decent physicals as well. We brought him in from ATP.
He'd be absolutely freezing up in the north.
He is going to be so cold. Jack Marriott is another guy. £1.7 million. Another striker that we have signed from Peterborough. He did score 12 goals in 43 games at a lower standard. Again, I'm struggling to get these players in.
Yeah, we'll do, yeah.
But yeah, he's a nomadic striker, 27. Well, let's see what he can do for us. So let's take a look before we have a look at the results at the season preview, because that has us round about 15th, where we finished 16th, so 25-1, kind of where we ended the season last time.
I'd like to do better than that.
Yeah, we don't have any players in the Dream 11 or anything for this league, and they're predicting the teams of Brentford, Norwich and Fulham. I mean, we've also got Bournemouth, Palace, Watford.
They're all big teams, aren't they?
Yeah, all teams that have been in the Premier League recently as well, so it's definitely going to be a struggle to get us back up there. But tactically, going to change ever so slightly. We've got Hannibal Mejbri now, a player who I think is absolutely fantastic. And by the way, I didn't mention, we got Sambi Lokonga back on loan for another season from Arsenal to fill in that centre midfield spot, which is great. I think Hannibal Mejbri in that shadow striker role will be absolutely fantastic for us, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to go, instead of being a more defensive, where this guy is playing here, we're going to pop him up there and just see what we can do in this league now that we have a few better players than what we did the season before. We spent a little bit more money. We've managed to keep hold of all of our best players. So let's try and do some damage in this league. So the end of the third season sees us promoted to the Premier League. Comfortable too. 5 points from third place Watford. Let's take a look at the league. The Watford Fulham is going to be the playoff final by the looks of it. So yeah, it's been quite a good season, to be honest. I mean, we finished quite far behind Brentford, who were predicted to finish top. But I mean, what a season we've had there.
Watford, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, all behind us. Brilliant.
All the big teams around us, and yet we are still sitting on top. If you do take a look at the profile as well, we scored the most goals. 2 players, Turks and Loader, 2 strikers. So even though we only have 1 player playing up top, I've got a feeling because we didn't pick where positions were, I've got a feeling Danny Loader might have been playing from the left-hand side, cutting inside on his right foot. That could have been really crucial for us. And Josh Sims with a really high average rating, probably the highest we've had throughout this whole rebuild so far, and the most assists and the most man matches. He's been incredible for us. For a player that we picked up in the league below, he's doing really well. So that's great. Other competitions, we haven't looked at other competitions, to be honest. FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, 4th round and 2nd round. So
Carabao Cup,
Newcastle as well.
Didn't want that, did we?
No.
Didn't want that.
That's an unfortunate mishap, I guess. In the squad, though, let's take a look. So the goals, 24 goals by Danny Loader, despite playing from that left-hand side. Alden Turks, 22 goals. We've got a lot more people scoring goals.
That's what it's mainly about in that
Exactly, league. What we didn't see is, before we actually started the season, I had 2 loanees which were not completed yet before we started. And they actually came through. Louis Barry from Aston Villa. A fantastic player, just couldn't get him over the line before our first game, but there it is, he was there. He played for us, 17 goals in 41 appearances.
Good.
Jamie Bino Gittins is another one who plays for Borussia Dortmund, a young English talent, absolutely fantastic player. Got 7 goals, got 5 assists and a good average rating as well for us. So 2 good signings that's come in for us there, as well as the other loan guys who have done. I mean, look how many greens we have now for average rating is shot up compared to the last couple of seasons. Josh Sims with the most assists and even a couple of assists there in the 10s as well. Louis Barry and Lokonga. So our original budget, after we played around because of the wage budget, was around about £16 million. Originally it was around about 35, but not a lot to play with the wages, and of course going into Premier League now, they pay a lot more. And even though you had a few players who had a lot of money, who were on a lot of money, we still had to up it and change that around. So transfer history, we've had to use the free market, and I think we've used it very well. A couple of players, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I mean, a player who can play in every position up front and in goal. From Arsenal, I'm really shocked that we managed to get this guy on a free. Nobody come in for him. He is going to be a starting right back for us, going to be amazing for us, so that's great. Again, somebody
good
who can play and everywhere across the pitch. Another goalkeeper who actually is better than the one that we had before. Really good player, Gaetan Koch. Probably something like that. From Belgium, £12 million he's now worth, so that's not bad at all. Bringing him in on a free. Some great physical stuff. 6'2", strong, powerful goalkeeper, and then a few like loan deals as well. Tanguy Nianza, we've seen this guy a few times on rebuilds. He's just that good. He goes out of contract next year. Unfortunately, because of the way these simulators run, we can't offer him a contract till the end of the season. Somebody might already offer him that before we get there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he's available like Maitland-Niles was. But again, solid centre back. If we can manage to sign him on a permanent deal, that would be great. Brian Gill from Tottenham Hotspur.
We've already just signed him.
You have indeed. How weird was it, by the way, in the Tottenham rebuild that we signed Brian Gill and then they signed him right after?
Yeah, definitely.
The amount of comments and stuff I got about that was amazing. But yeah, for a first time in the Premier League team, Brian Gill's going to be great for us. Really happy to bring him in. We rated Wolves a little bit with a couple of players. Morgan Gibbs-White will start off with a centre midfielder. For the price we paid, it's because he was going out of contract as well. I just want to guarantee his signing. It's a really cheap offer, to be honest, to bring this type of player in because our squad is so small because of how many loan deals we had.
We need a bigger squad in this league as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Stronger squad.
The amount of loan deals we had and the amount of players who were just not good enough, who we didn't offer contracts to, our squad was down to about 14 players.
Yeah.
So I had to go for more quantity than quality. But we're still bringing in quality players, I think. Reece Devine being another one who can play on the left and at centre back. Should we really need to? He is 6 foot, but he is more of a left back. And then we signed 2 strikers who I think, in the match engine, are just brilliant. We'll start off with Lys Mousset from Southampton. He is originally from Sheffield United in real life. He's one of these players who, in real life, is just not that good. But on the game, he's just amazing. I don't know why. He's just really pacey, good off the ball and good finishing. He just scores a lot of goals, to be honest. So I'm happy to bring him in. 27 years old as well, so he's still got a little bit of time in this rebuild in the 2 years that we need him for. He's going to be great. And for £4 million, for £7 million, not bad at all.
No.
But for £4 million, Brenner. Now this is, at the start of Football Manager, he was a wonder kid Brazilian. And then in January, he moved to Cincinnati and everybody's like, no! Because you can get him quite cheap. Fortunately for us, a few years later, Cincinnati didn't know what to do with him. He had a year left on his deal. We managed to bring him in for £4 million. He is fantastic. A lot of 15s that we can see there. Physicals are amazing. Really excited to see what Brenner can do as our number 10. He's going to be the Kevin Phillips.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we've already signed a Noel Quinn with the Bosnian that we had.
Yeah.
This is going to be our Kevin Phillips. Speaking of our Bosnian, he's left. He has moved. £7 million we moved him on for. I just don't think he's going to be good enough for the Premier League, and the fact that we can get £7 million for him, I'd take it.
Take it, yeah.
It's still a profit if you think about it. We only signed for £3 million. He's done quite well for us, to be honest, so £7 million, happy with that.
Yeah.
A few more players that we signed before the turn of the season, one being Trevor Chalobah. Plays for Chelsea at the minute. We got him for very cheap, about to go out of contract. Matteo Guendouzi.
I like him.
Yeah, I think he's quite... No, he's the one from Arsenal.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, he's the centre midfielder from Arsenal. I think he's really talented. He's been moved on now because I don't know whether they don't rate him in real life or something, but on the game he has some fantastic attributes that I'm happy to bring him into the club.
He's that type of player that looks like they're just sort of just gliding, but they're very quick.
Yeah. So I think he's going to be a great signing for us in that centre midfield role. Jake Cooper, £5.25 million for a centre back. Doesn't have the best physicals, but he does have great natural fitness and 19 jumper reach, and he's 6'7". Cool. So from aerial set pieces, he's going to be the guy we're going to be aiming for with that 16 heading. He's got good positioning too, so decent signing, to be honest, for £5.5 million.
Gets a few goals set pieces.
Exactly that. And a regen, Ryan Johnston, 18 years of age, just turned 18 as well, from Hamilton. He's Scottish. He is amazing. How good is he for 18 years of age? The fact that we've managed to pick him up, and a lot of clubs are coming in for him as well, but I may have offered double the amount of money he was asking for just so that we could secure him for this. And it's hardly peanuts as well. It's 14k. But of course, he's coming from Hamilton where he was getting paid nothing anyway.
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, he was happy to do that. He's come in, he's played first team football since he was 16. Oh my God, he actually came from our youth development and I didn't even realise. So there we go. It was a mistake on my part to let him go in the first place. And here he is. He's back with us. Ryan Johnston. Welcome back.
Yeah, he must have liked it here.
So tactically, we're going back to a 4-4-2. Now, Nianzou actually goes out of contract next season. Okay, so we've managed to loan him again for another season. And yeah, we're going to have to try and hopefully just he doesn't sign for anybody else. Yeah. He's going to be the only player that I'm going to try and guarantee to play. The rest, I'm going to leave it very open. We've got a lot of squad and a lot of strength in depth now. We still got the likes of Danny Loader, for instance, who did so well last year in the Championship to go alongside Brenner and Lys Mousset up top. So I'm just going to let the assistant manager play it there and see how we do throughout the season. Another player we brought back was Jamie Bynel-Gittens. He did really well for us last season. He's another year older, another year wiser, and let's see how he does in the Premier League on loan from Borussia Dortmund, who can fill in on that left-hand side should we need to, or on the right if we really need him to. He is right-footed, so that might benefit him, to be honest, playing in this 4-4-2. But before we take a look at the end of the fourth season, Dad, players, managers, facts, what do you have for us for Sunderland?
Well, this is where a bit of fun comes in. now, so I'm gonna start off with the players.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with what I would have classed as like the legends of the players, really.
Yeah.
Going back to years ago, Bobby Gurney, 22 years he played for Sunderland. He scored 228 goals. Then you got Charlie Hurley. They called him the King. He was that sort of big of a character for Sunderland.
Yeah.
They called him the King. In 1964, he come runners up behind Bobby Moore to the Reuters Players Player of the Year.
Oh wow. Yeah,
So that's
really
a-
talented then.
Really good, yeah. And then you, Jimmy Montgomery.
Okay.
Now, that's the goalkeeper I was talking about earlier who pulled off the best save.
Okay, yeah.
He's actually played 623 appearances
For Sunderland.
for Sunderland, yeah.
Wow. That's got to be the record, right?
I think it is, yeah. You can't talk about Sunderland without talking about Mr. Sunderland, Niall Quinn.
Niall Quinn. What a striker.
What a striker. But he wasn't just what a striker,
Yeah.
because then he became manager.
Yeah.
Then
true,
he become director.
Yeah.
So he Mr.
He's done
Sunderland.
it all, yeah.
Yeah. And you can't talk about Mr. Sunderland without talking a little large,
His little mate.
his little mate, Kevin
Kevin
Phillips. And then you've also got Dave Watson as well. I think was a big character. And that 1973 FA Cup final that I was talking about, he actually played in that game,
Okay, yeah.
game as well. So, but I'm going to go through some players now.
Okay.
I've picked out a load of. I've obviously missed a lot of players, but I've picked out players that I thought me and you were going to know, and I think you'd be surprised as well when I mention some of them that they played for Sunderland.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off with Jordan Pickford.
Yeah.
One season he played at Sunderland, but he's a Sunderland lad.
Yeah.
Chrissy Waddle.
Chris Watt? Really? No, that's one, yeah. I
Now,
would have said.
why didn't you think he played for Sunderland?
Don't know.
Well, we all think of him, and whenever you see Chrissy Waddle, you think of him playing in the black and white kit because
Yeah.
he played for Newcastle as
Yeah.
well. But he is a Sunderland lad.
Wow. Right, okay. So
Yeah.
that's a bit controversial then.
Yeah. Jordan Henderson.
Yeah, I remember
Never-
that because
never
United
Sunderland.
were linked to him
Yeah.
when he played there.
Kevin Ball, he's a good player, but he was also went on to be manager of Sunderland.
okay.
That's probably why you've heard of the name.
Yeah.
Darren Bent,
Darren Bent. I always liked Darren Bent.
a good striker.
Yeah.
Went to the Spurs.
Went to Spurs as well, Derby.
Talking about another Spurs striker, Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah, I love Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah,
They've
brilliant.
had some unbelievable strikers in their
Yeah.
time, haven't they,
Yeah.
Sunderland?
Then you got Wayne Bridge,
Yeah.
Alex Ray. Remember Alex Ray?
Alex Ray, is that the
What?
bold guy?
Yeah, he's solid
Centre mid?
midfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant player. Dwight York.
Yeah, I remember when Dwight York played
Yeah.
for Sunderland, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was after United as well, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I've seen this one and I didn't believe it when I read it, so I looked it all up and it's true. One of my favourite managers, and we've spoke about him in other rebuilds quite a lot.
Well, that played for them?
Yeah,
God, I don't know.
Brian Clough. He
Wow.
actually played 61 appearances for them and he scored 54 goals.
Bloody hell, Brian Clough was a baller.
Yeah.
So you just think of him as like the legendary manager, don't you?
Yeah,
But like you don't
he
really
was a
hear
good
about his player career.
His career ended, I think, when he played for Sunderland. I think he say finished in 62 or something like that, and he retired in 64 through an injury of
Yeah.
his knee. But yeah, when I seen Brian Clough play, and I thought no,
Yeah.
so I had to look it up then. But yeah,
Is he a striker then?
61, yeah, 61.
I mean, I wouldn't say he was the best striker in the world, but he's in the top one.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Managers.
Okay.
What I was talking about earlier was
There's a sad, sorry state of managers from Sunderland as well.
when we're up here and we're down there,
yeah.
and we're up here
This
and
is
we're
where
down
the
there.
managers come in.
This is where the managers
Yeah.
come in, and it's we'll pick out managers, and you'll just go, God. And they're not in any particular order, but I've got to
Right.
start with Neil Quinn because he was there.
Yeah.
Kevin Ball, who we've already mentioned
Okay,
as well.
yeah.
Big Sam,
Yeah.
he was there. Gus Poyet,
I remember Gus Poyet being
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Roy Keane,
Roy Keane. That's a terrible part for
Yeah.
Roy Keane, wasn't it?
David Moyes,
David Moyes. Really?
Yeah.
Oh god, that was after United, I think.
Palio Di Canio,
Yeah, that was a dodgy era,
Yeah.
wasn't it, for him?
Steve Bruce, who's
Steve
now manager
Bruce.
of Newcastle.
Yeah.
And he gets so much stick for going to Newcastle.
Still
doesn't he?
gets stick.
Yeah. Martin O'Neill,
Yeah. Good manager. I always
Yeah.
liked Martin O'Neill.
Mick McCarthy,
Yeah. Always remember the Mick McCarthy era of Sunderland.
Simon Grayson,
Yeah. What's he doing now? He's in
not
the
sure,
championship
yeah.
team, surely.
Chris Coleman. Yeah,
Chris
we're
Coleman.
talking some good managers here, really,
Yeah.
aren't we?
I mean, they've had so many
Yeah.
recently.
I ain't finished yet. Aaron Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Another good manager. Laurie McMenemy. Now, you probably won't remember, but
don't
I
remember
do.
him, no.
When Sunderland was when I was like a young lad coming through, Laurie McMenemy was one of the good managers, a well respected manager. But he went on to Southampton and took Southampton
Yeah.
way up through. Terry Butcher.
Really?
Yeah. But, and I've said it before, and I've got to say it again, this bloke is a legend to me.
Peter Reid.
Peter Reid.
Of course it is, Peter Reid.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the Peter
Yeah,
Reid one.
Peter Reid.
He's always one that stands out as
And he was
managers
the
for me.
manager of the best ever playoff final.
Oh, really?
He was the manager
Yeah.
of that team. So obviously he was still the manager the next season when he took them up with their record points.
And we'll allude it to it again. We like Peary because of what he did at Plymouth Argyle. Like,
brilliant. Yeah.
Saved our club from going bust.
Yeah,
paid all the
definitely,
ladies who weren't getting paid when it looked like we were going into administration by selling his FA Cup.
No matter what he does, he's a legend to us, isn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And facts, I'm just going to touch on the stadium for facts.
Okay.
1997, when they left Roker Park, they won their last league game there against Everton.
Okay.
They won it 3-0, and the goals were scored by Paul Stewart on a penalty, Chrissy Waddle, and it was his first goal for Sunderland.
Right.
And Alan Johnson, and it was his first goal for Sunderland as well.
Right. Okay.
It was the last league game. And when I looked at it, it came up after that. They played. Now I'm not sure whether it was 1 or 2 games after that, but I'm going to say them what I read they were. One was against Middlesbrough in a local cup thing that they play in, and the other one was a friendly against Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one it was, which is the very last game, but it was after the league game.
Yeah,
so it was one of them two. And then the following season, when they went to this big new stadium, which is probably still one of the best stadiums in the country.
Yeah.
I think it's the 7th biggest at the moment. They played their first ever game, a friendly against Ajax.
Oh, really?
Which is another team that people have asked us to do.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
So they played their first game that they drew 0-0. It was a very poor game. Felt sorry for the fans there then.
Especially if you're coming from Amsterdam.
Yeah. They played their first league game, and it was a first division game, so it wasn't the top league game, and it was against Man City.
Okay.
And I was surprised with that.
Yeah.
Because you don't think of Man City being in the lower leagues, but they did, didn't they? And they won 3-1. And the goal scorers, Nell Quinn, Lee Clark, and Kevin Phillips.
Kevin Phillips.
So they even started then, didn't they? Really?
Yeah.
But Nell Quinn, like I was saying to you earlier, Mr. Sunderland, who scores the first goal in that stadium. It had to be in, really, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
So that's the memories, facts, players, everything I got for Sunderland. What a team. I've really enjoyed looking all the history up and things like that. I could have spoke about loads of things.
Yeah,
it was.
we're not even touching on the stuff that we've seen recently with the Netflix documentary, for instance, and the shambles that seems to be the club, how it's run, and everything like that. You know, what we've seen on the Netflix thing. A very eye-opening, but really, I never thought I'd enjoy it. Because I never really had an affiliation to something. I thought, why would I enjoy a documentary about it? But as soon as I watched that first episode, I was engrossed. And seeing like the passion of the Sunderland fans, like when they say like all they've got up there is football, like it's true.
Yeah.
And like I just feel so sorry for them because like when you know I complain about how the Glazers run United, for instance, but we're still sat near the top of the Premier League and still spending like 70 odd million on players, and yet I feel sorry for Sunderland when they drop down a couple of leagues and get treated the way they are. I couldn't imagine what you guys are going through, but they
stick with the team though, and that's the good thing about those fans.
Exactly that.
Sunderland through and through, they ups and downs don't matter.
Yeah,
they're there.
I'd like to see them bounce back into the Championship at least very soon. Right, okay, end of season 4. How do we do? So, our first season in the Premier League, and it's a great season. Finishing in 8th place.
That ain't bad.
I mean, we only finished.
Look at the middle two games.
And on goal difference. On goal difference from being in 7th place in a European spot at Aston Villa. But look at the game. Look at the team below us.
Above the Newcastle,
Above Newcastle. So they've got to be very happy with that.
Definitely. That to them is like winning the league.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we'll check to see how we did against Newcastle in the first couple of times that we've managed to play them.
So we won one of those 2 games that we lost.
Yeah, that's true. Competitions then. So the FA Cup 3rd round by Blackburn, who I think is a league below, so that's quite a poor result to be honest. And the quarter-final of the Carabao Cup by Manchester City, somebody you'd expect for it to beat us. So, schedule-wise, we will take a look and see how we did against Newcastle. First game that we played them, we won 3-0 at the Stadium of Light. What a result that is. I bet they were absolutely buzzing for that. The second time we played them when we went to Newcastle was a 1-1 draw. Well, so we've got to be happy. Yeah.
And look who scored the goal as well, the penalty.
Exactly. Brenner with a penalty. 2 penalties as well. So yeah, we are unbeaten against Newcastle in the first season. We finished above them in the league. We've got to be really happy with how that has turned out. Squad-wise then, let's take a look at some of the goals. 28 goals were scored again by Danny Loader. So he was given the nod up front, which was surprising. And Lys Mousset not. He was only given 7 starts and 13 appearances off the bench and only scoring 1 goal. So Danny Loader getting a lot of goals there. 21 assists for 21 goals for Brenner, who seemed to be a strike partner as well. Coming across a different league.
Yeah.
So he's done quite well there. And assist wise, Let's take a look. 18 assists from Josh Sims.
Very good.
Come up from 2 leagues below,
Yeah.
and he's doing that in the Premier League. You don't see that happen very often.
No.
Very much a Jamie Vardy type of player. Nianzi, we're going to lose him. He is moving to Tottenham, unfortunately, so we cannot bring him in for the next season. So it's all about what can we do in our final year. Dad, you've seen how well we've done in these 4 years. What will be a successful last season for you?
Finishing above Newcastle again.
Yep.
Get to a final.
A final?
Yeah, of one of the 2 cups.
All right, let's see what we can do.
Fingers crossed.
So our first signing that we made was Pedro Neto from Wolves. Good
yeah.
Portuguese player.
He is good, yeah, I like
Plays
him.
on both wings as
Yeah.
well. Brought him in for £13 million, so he was transfer listed and we signed him. Only played 9 games a season before. Eddie Nketiah is a signing that as soon as I seen him on the transfer list, I thought, get him in.
Yeah.
Although, like, striker-wise, probably didn't really need another striker. It's a player that we couldn't really pass up on, because if we're playing him, we could even play him on right midfield.
Yeah.
If we're playing him up top, if we're playing him on the wing, he's pacey. He's very decent going forward. I think it's a player that we need to be bringing in for Sunderland. Player kind of very much like Danny Welbeck when he went to Sunderland to begin with.
Yeah.
So a good striker and a good option for us to bring in. We then loaned in this man, Foulon, a left back from Sevilla. Really clever left back, to be honest. I like the look of him. Very well-rounded player, very good defensively and going forward. So I think that's a good signing for us. £22 million he's worth as well. Joe Rodon, who's a Wolves player, but obviously we know him from Tottenham.
Yeah.
Did very well in the Euros recently for Wales. 6'4", really towering figure. He's going to be the guy who's going to be replacing Nianzi, of course, that we lost from moving to Spurs, and Christian Romero from Spurs. So we've actually brought him in, despite obviously they're bringing in Nianzi. They decided we don't need Christian Romero now. So he was transfer listed, so I offered to bring him in on loan, and they gave us like an optional fee, I think, of £43 million, but I don't think we'd ever make that much money.
No.
So we've managed to bring him in at least on loan. A fantastic player, to be honest, and those 2 centre-back there really boost our defence compared to what it has been the last couple of seasons, especially, of course, when we were in the Championship.
Yeah.
Tactically then, we're sticking with the 4-4-2. We're changing it around ever so slightly. Danny Loader, yes, he's scored a lot of goals, but I'm disappointed Lys Mousset didn't play.
Right.
Because I really do think Lys Mousset, I think he could be better than Danny Loader, you know. So I'm making him stay in the team with Brenner, and Danny Loader is going to be a guy who maybe misses out in this final
big
season.
Position to do, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. He is actually out as well for the first part of the season, which obviously is another reason which made my mind. But we're sticking with this. Johnson and Guendouzi. Johnson's looking absolutely amazing, the 19-year-old now. Guendouzi in the deep line playmaker role. We've got Nketiah and Neto on the wings. I fancy our chances this season. Let's see how we do.
Let's go for it then.
So, we finished the final season in 9th place. Newcastle finished in 8th. It's disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is disappointing. 56 games and 56 points. They had 57 points. And we lost the last game of the season. 4-2. We did beat Chelsea 7-0.
7-0 against Chelsea.
Yeah, it's
and
one
they
of
finished 4th in the league.
It's one of those very weird games that they've had, to be honest. We'll take a look at it because it's very bizarre.
And we drew 1 each against Man United and they won the league.
Exactly, yeah, I know. Who had a very weird end of the season. They drew 4 and won 1. So, really strange end of the season. But Dad, there is a Europa League qualifying spot there.
Ooh.
Which can only mean one thing.
We must have won
the FA Cup.
Get in! Get in there!
That's a huge win.
That's the one I love.
That is a huge win. I don't care that Newcastle finished above us in the league.
Nor do
we
I
went
know.
on and won the FA Cup. What would be bittersweet is if we beat them in the final. We beat Arsenal in the final. 5-2. What a win that is in the final. The goals coming in, a hat-trick from Brenner, Joe Rodon and Christian Romero, the Tottenham player, scoring against Arsenal in a final. After we were 2-0 down. 2-0 down in 16 minutes. And we bring it back and win 5-2. You cannot beat that. That is a great end to a very fantastic rebuild there. So gotta be happy with that, to be honest.
Oh, 100%. 100%. 2 seasons in the Premier League, and the second one we won the FA Cup.
Exactly. Let's take a look at this schedule then. First game of the season that we come up against Newcastle was a 0-0 draw after a very poor start to the season. Villa 5-3. We drew 1-1 with Man City. That's actually quite good, to be fair. Losing to West Ham, and then let's take a look. We actually faced Plymouth in the EFL 4th round. We beat them, 6-0. Newcastle, the second game we played against them, we lost. They
1-0.
scored in the 89th
Oh.
minute at the Stadium of Light as well. And we had Jadair sent off in the 71st. That's cost us there. But yeah, we had some unbelievable wins this season. FA Cup, we beat Liverpool 7-2 in the FA Cup. And they are playing, looks like they're a big team.
Yeah.
Like, they look like they're playing some class players in there. It just seems like one of those seasons where we either win amazingly or get battered. There's a lot of goals in these games.
Yeah.
7-0 against Chelsea. Luis Musset scores 4. It's unbelievable. And you look at their team, it's a very good team that they're playing. Still Kante, Chilwell, Rafael Leao up front, Pulisic is still there, Orsolini, who we've had in other rebuilds. And we beat them 7-0. Luis Musset got 4 goals, so maybe I was right to play him instead of Danny Loader there. Danny Loader actually getting one off the bench.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Let's take a look at the squad then. Because goals-wise, Luis Musset scored 35 this season. So I was right.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, I was right in making that decision. 30 goals there from Brenner with
65 goals in two players. What a result that is.
Exactly. There's our 2 strikers. That's the Quinn and Kevin Phillips effect there. Assist-wise, Pedro Neto, 27 assists and an average rating of 7.63. A great season for Pedro Neto.
Yeah.
Fantastic season. 17 of those assists was in the Premier League alone. So we've got to be really happy with that. Dad, what do you think? Successful rebuild or what?
100%. That's probably... I'm going to say that's probably our best one.
Yeah, you think? I mean, yeah, it's the hardest challenge.
Well, yeah, we brought team up from two leagues down and then won the FA Cup.
Yeah, secured them in the Premier League.
And we just missed out on an automatic European spot, really, in the first season.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So, it's 2 good seasons in the Premier League. It's got to be our best one yet, I think.
I'm tending to agree with you. Let me know down in the comments whether you agree with us as well. Of course, leave your likes. 1,300 is your like target for this. Any other recommendations that you want to see us rebuild before the new game comes out? And then, of course, if you want to buy the new game, I've got a link down in the description. Should you want to buy it with a discount code as well as another affiliate link for you.
Keep the comments coming in as well. We love the comments
We do love the comments. And then, of course, we'll be moving on to FM22 when that comes out, and rebuilds won't be going anywhere because you're now part-time. I'm now part-time. It's just how sometimes it just works out, doesn't it? Let's hope my voice comes back for the next one, though, because my throat is absolutely killing me. Dad, thank you very much for joining me
Welcome.
on this one, and we'll see you next Monday for another one. Bye-bye.